Hey y'all, welcome to What's Cooking with Paula. For those of you that might not like turkey or don't want to serve turkey, I always have turkey and ham on Thanksgiving, but on Christmas Day, I serve beef. And if you want to serve two meats, if you want to cook a turkey and then have a second meat, the recipe that I'm fixing to share with you is incredibly melt in your mouth delicious. It's a black pepper beef tenderloin. So I want y'all to see how this is done, and it's easy, it's quick, and it melts in your mouth. Hey friends, I hope y'all are all well today because I'm gonna be sharing with y'all a great recipe that is so wonderful for the holidays. You know, I'm gonna put the turkey and the ham aside for this particular holiday, and I'm gonna share with y'all a recipe that a friend shared with me that I think probably is the best beef tenderloin I have ever put in my mouth. The hardest part is crushing your peppercorns because you want this tenderloin coated in fresh black peppercorns. But in order for the flavors of those peppercorns to come out, you gotta crush them. And the best way to crush them is just put them in a skillet that you can't hurt. And I have a little skillet that I use for melting my butter for my baked potato right here. But you just take that and kind of roll it on your peppercorns and it'll crush them. And I tried the first time I ever made this, y'all. I tried putting it in my food processor, but it didn't work. It just came out to be a lot of powder. So that doesn't work well. You kind of got to just get in there and donate the time to crushing these peppercorns. And after I get these all broken up, we're gonna put it on the stove and we're gonna saute them for about 5 minutes. And that all that we saute them in will be hot as fire. It like takes all the heat out of them, but you have this fabulous flavor of the peppercorns. Hear them crunching? All right, so I've got 6 tablespoons of olive oil, y'all. And I'm just gonna pour that oil over those peppercorns. And like I said, we're gonna saute them on low for about 5 minutes. And while this is getting hot and cooking up, we're gonna prep our tenderloin. And this is a beautiful piece of tenderloin. And if you're like me, you know, you don't wanna throw good money after bad. You wanna make sure that this is gonna be delicious because it's not cheap, my friend. It is not cheap. But it's so perfect for a special holiday with your family or your friends. All right, so in this bowl, I've got a combination of sugar, salt, and baking soda. And the soda is gonna kind of act like glue on your meat because we're gonna coat it with those peppercorns. All right, so you wanna just rub that in your meat real good. And you'll notice now, this is like a 6-pound tenderloin. But if you spread it out like that, this would get so overdone, and you don't want that. So I just fold it so it makes kind of a uniform slab of meat. I can't tell y'all how good this is. I couldn't believe though when my friend, I asked him, I said, where's the bacon? There is no bacon on this, which is hard to believe. So I think the next time I made it, I'd probably wrap a little bacon around it. All right. So there we go. We got our 1/2 cup of black crushed peppercorns sauteing back here because that's gonna just cause those peppers to explode with flavor. Plus it's gonna remove the heat. And I've made a combination up of sugar, salt, baking soda, not powder, but baking soda. And I've sprinkled that on our meat. And then I've got some orange zest. And then I'm gonna use a fresh nutmeg, and I'm gonna grate that on the top of the roast. You're not gonna believe how good it is, y'all. You're not gonna believe it. So I'll be right back. I'm gonna wash my hands, and I'll meet you back in the kitchen. So if you go get you something to drink, hurry, because I want y'all sitting down watching, not listening. Don't just listen, come join me. As I promised y'all, I'm sharing a recipe for the most incredible pepper encrusted beef tenderloin. I like the sound of that because that's exactly what it is. Now, we've had our peppers over here sauteing for, oh gosh, 5 or 8 minutes. I just stuck my finger in that oil, y'all, and that oil is so hot. All right, so I'm gonna give these a little bitty rinse. I'm gonna get every one of those peppercorns out of there. And I'm gonna, like I said, just give this a quick little rinse. And I want y'all to look at my strainer. I found this at a little antique shop 100 years ago. Whoa, listen to those peppers. Oh, it's so hot. I found this little strainer 100 years ago at a little junk antique shop, and I just love it. I just lost a handle on it last week, and I'm so afraid I'm gonna lose this other handle. So I'll just put them in this bowl, and then I'm gonna put some fresh oil on them because we want those peppercorns to stick to that tenderloin. Okay, so there we go. So now I'm gonna start patting it down. I think I'll flip it over and do the bottom first. Tenderloin, y'all, has a silver little sleeve on it. And some people don't like that silver. We took the silver off of this one because it can really sometimes be kind of chewy and tough. So we did choose to remove the silver. By putting that combination, that baking soda, y'all, it makes the piece of meat like tacky, so the peppercorn will stick to it. See how that peppercorn's not rolling off of our roast. It's staying on. Look at that. It's crazy how that works. I know there's probably some scientific reason, but thank goodness we're not in science class today. We'd be up the creek. Wow, kabow. I'm gonna wash my hands, give them a quick rinse, and then I'm gonna just tie this meat up so that bottom piece that I folded over won't jump out. All right, so like I said, I'm gonna just wrap this up. I'm gonna tie it up. It's gonna be a meal that your family will never forget. Now, it's time for us to add a couple of ingredients that's gonna help counteract some of the other ingredients that we've put in it. I'm gonna pat it with some orange zest. And believe it or not, that orange zest just really does something to it. So y'all don't skip this step. Just a delicious combination of flavors, y'all. This came in at around $72 or $73. But when you think every bite of it is servable and gonna get eaten, it's really not that terribly bad, especially since it's a holiday. Okay, so all I got to do now is grate a little fresh nutmeg over it, and we're ready to put it in the oven. You don't want too much, just a little bit. Okay, so we're ready to put our roast into the oven, and we're gonna cook it for, I don't know, I'll watch it. I've got me a meat thermometer up here. We like ours medium rare. I've got my temperature set at 300 degrees. So I'm gonna transfer it to my roasting pan. And if you have a pan like this with it's like a drain board, for your sink. All right, so I'm gonna pick up that beauty and put it right in there. Oh gosh. So in the oven it goes, 300 degrees, and I'll just keep a real close eye on this, y'all, because if it came out medium or medium well, I would be so upset. Because to me, the crime in cooking something like this is overcooking it. The space that you live in really affects the way you feel. So my first recommendation is start by updating your window treatments with Smith & Noble. Smith & Noble's beautiful handcrafted blinds, drapes, shades, and shutters are custom-made just for you, and they offer different service options to fit your needs. To get started today, contact Smith & Noble to get my special limited-time offer, 25% off on your window treatments, plus free design consultation. Create a space that you're gonna love. For details about my special offer, go to smithandnoble.com/Paula. That's smithandnoble.com/Paula, or call 1-800-659-3300. That's 1-800-659-3300. Hey, y'all, I think my babies know that I've got the finest chunk of meat in that oven, because they're hanging pretty close to me. Well, guess what? Beef may be your favorite food, but I'm fixing to fix my favorite food. And you know what that is, don't you? It's a potato. But I'm doing a smashed potato to go along with that wonderful black peppercorn encrusted beef tenderloin. Now, I've got my potatoes, and I use red potatoes. If I'm gonna do a baked potato for dinner, I'll go to the grocery store and I'll pick out the big reds. All right, so these are done. And I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna pour this water off of them. I'm gonna bring them over here. And this little cast iron pot is old as dirt, but it's come in real handy now twice today. I couldn't have done those black peppercorns without this cast iron little container. All right, so I'm just gonna pour our potatoes on our baking sheet. And now see, I let them drain, and still a lot of water came out, and I don't want that water. I don't want my potatoes watered down. So I'm just gonna dry that off real quick like, because I've got a couple of things that I'm gonna put on these potatoes that's gonna make them very, very special. So I'm gonna take them and just smash them. That's a smashed potato, y'all. And I'm gonna put it in the oven and cook them some more, and they're gonna get crispy and so good. You don't wanna tear them up, you just wanna smash them. Whoa, no, I just lost the potato. That's a sin. That is a sin. I love them so much. You're not supposed to love something in that way. God don't want you to love something that much. It's not a person. Okay, so they're good and smashed. And now for the good stuff. I think my son Bobby was the one that shared this recipe with me. And he said, now Mama, you're gonna think I'm crazy, But when I tell you, you really salt your water for these potatoes, he said, I'm talking about a cup or a cup and a half of salt. But it makes them so good. The salt content has gotten all the way to the center of these potatoes, and they're perfect. But if you're worried about your salt intake, you don't have to do that. So I'm gonna brush these with butter, naturally. You can't eat a potato without butter. Well, you can, but it's just not nearly as good. Look at that, look at that. So now I'm gonna take some malt vinegar. I'm just gonna brush our potatoes with that vinegar. This is not a very good brush. You know, you don't wanna soak them, but you wanna get them pretty good. And that vinegar is just gonna give these a great taste. I hear our roaster sizzling, y'all. All right, now I'm not gonna salt these potatoes because they're salted to perfection, but I am gonna put a little crushed black pepper on it. All right, so we're gonna put these in the oven under broil, and we're gonna just broil them until they're kind of crusty and crunchy. If you want to make a man happy, just give him some meat and potatoes, and you'll have him wrapped around that little finger. Meet me back here in the kitchen, and I'll prove it to you. It's showtime, y'all. I promised you that you'd have that man wrapped around your little finger, or you guys would have that girl wrapped around your little finger, because this is a fine meal we're fixing to taste. I checked my roast, and it's at 125, because that's gonna give us a medium rare cook. Look at that. Listen to that thing sizzling. You know what, I might better go there. And our potatoes are cooking away in our other oven. I'm gonna just transfer this to our platter. Look at that, would you? Oh my goodness. Now we're gonna let this rest, y'all, for 10 or 15 minutes, maybe 5 minutes. Depends on how much patience we have, how much willpower. But you want that meat to kind of shrink back up, you know, and let it capture all that juice in it. So I'm gonna try to wait that long, y'all. I'm gonna try. And look at those beautiful potatoes. Okay. Whoa. I do want y'all to try this recipe because it's so simple, but so delicious. So moist from that malt vinegar that we put on them. I'm so glad I woke up on the right side of the dirt today. I have a wonderful horseradish sauce, and it's so simple. It's like sour cream, horseradish, red wine vinegar, and a little seasoning salt. So simple, but gonna be so good. But I'm just gonna cut this cord on our roast. Oh my goodness. This is so juicy, y'all. Look at the juice running everywhere. So let's cut into this beautiful piece of meat and see what we have. I cooked it to 125 degrees. Oh. Look at this. That is a perfect medium rare. Completely slap-gadab, perfect medium rare. And I broiled my smashed potatoes to get them to a nice crusty topping. I sure do wish y'all were here with me. I would give anything if y'all could be here with me. Because you're just not gonna believe how delicious this beef tenderloin is. And I'm so happy to be able to share it with y'all today. I'm sorry, guys. I need a moment. I really don't know which is the best, y'all, the $72 piece of meat or the $2 worth of potatoes. They're so perfect together. This meat is incredible. And you can eat every bite of it except that string I took off. That's the only part that you're not gonna be able to eat. And I don't know, after I tasted the flavor of this, that string might not taste too bad. I think it's fabulous. Look at that. Best dishes in love, y'all. I've got a date with a cow. Okay, that's it. Now y'all see how easy it is to tackle. The hardest part, I have to tell you, is crushing your peppercorns. But you can do it. The last time I did this, I think I had a coffee grinder for my coffee beans, and seems like I used that, and that worked real good. Or just take a skillet or a mallet and beat the heck out of them. It's worth it, y'all. And I'm sending you all my love along with best dishes. Bye, y'all. The space that you live in really affects the way you feel. So my first recommendation is start by updating your window treatments with Smith & Noble. Smith & Noble's beautiful handcrafted blinds, drapes, shades, and shutters are custom made just for you, and they offer different service options to fit your needs. To get started today, contact Smith & Noble to get my special limited time offer, 25% off on your window treatments, plus free design consultation. Create a space that you're gonna love. For details about my special offer, go to smithandnoble.com/Paula. That's smithandnoble.com/Paula, or call 1-800-659-3300. That's 1-800-659-3300.